Hello everyone. Last time we have completed order of reaction and molecularity. So hope you have revised everything. Today we are going to start with integrated rate law and we'll discuss for the first order reaction. Before moving on with the integrated rate law for the first order reaction, first we'll understand what do you mean by integrated rate law. Okay, so as we have discussed before, the differential rate law, it tells us about how rate of a reaction depends on the concentration of reactants in terms of derivatives. Okay, so when differential rate laws are converted into integrated rate laws, that means we'll be integrating the equation in within the higher and the lower limit. That time we'll get integrated rate law. So this will help us to understand the concentration of reactant for different times. So now we'll discuss it for the first order reactions in solution. So first we'll consider the first order reaction, that is A going to product. Now why I have written A? Because we are concerned with the molar concentration of reactant when we talk about rate law. Okay, so we don't want the product side, therefore we simply write A going to product. Okay, so hope you understand, rate law is concerned with the molar concentration of the reactant, so therefore we write down A going to product. Therefore the differential rate law is given by rate is equal to minus d concentration of A upon dt, that is equal to K into molar concentration of A, where square bracket A is the concentration of reactant at time t. Rearranging the equation, we get d molar concentration of A upon molar concentration of A equal to minus K dt. Okay, so hope you understood. We have only rearranged, as rate was equal to dA upon dt, that is equal to K into A. We have rearranged that equation and we got it as what? D concentration of A upon molar concentration of A, that is equal to minus K dt. So if now we will assume that let concentration of A, molar concentration of A, not be the initial concentration of the reactant A at time t is equal to 0. That means at time t equal to 0, okay, the molar concentration of the reactant is taken as naught, that is molar concentration of A naught. Okay, suppose if after the reaction at time t, it can be any time, it can be after 5 minutes or 5 seconds, any time. Okay, so at time t the concentration will be molar concentration of A t, that is what it is written. Suppose molar concentration of A t is the concentration of A at time equal to t. Okay, so now equation 6.5 is integrated between its limit, that is higher and the lower limit. So obviously the higher will be the final concentration and the lower will be the initial concentration. When we consider initial concentration, at that time t is equal to 0, and if we consider the final concentration as a t, then the time will be t is equal to t. Okay, so we integrate dA upon A within the limit A naught to AT, that is equal to minus K will come out as it is constant, and integrating dt within the limit t is equal to 0 to t is equal to t. So when we integrate 1 upon x, so it is nothing but what? ln x. Therefore on integrating we get ln A within the limits A naught to AT, that is equal to minus K t within the limits 0 to t. So now we are going to substitute the limits, that is First we are going to substitute the higher minus the lower. Therefore ln AT minus ln A naught, that is equal to minus K into T. The other term will be as T is equal to 0, that will go away. Okay, so rearranging it will be what now? You know that ln A minus ln B will be nothing but ln A upon B. Therefore we write it as ln AT upon A naught, that is equal to minus KT. Now rearranging the equation, if I just bring the negative sign in the other side, what will happen? I can take the reciprocal of that. So it will be what? K is equal to 1 upon T ln A naught upon A T. So now the last step, now we just have to convert ln to log to the base 10. So we will multiply by the factor 2.303. So therefore the equation will become K is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 concentration of A, molar concentration of A naught upon molar concentration of A T. This is the final equation, and it is very very important for you to by heart this equation. When it is asked that for a first order reaction, you just have to write down this equation, and the sums are asked based on this equation. So please do by heart this equation thoroughly. Okay, so equation 6.7 gives the integrated rate law for the first order reaction. Okay, so now we are going to learn the rate law, that means different ways of writing the rate law. Okay, so the rate law can be written in the following forms. So the equation 6.6 is ln AT upon A naught, that is equal to minus KT. Now what we are going to do, we are going to take the anti-log on both the sides. So what will happen? This ln will cancel. So therefore molar concentration of AT upon molar concentration of A naught, that is equal to E raised to minus KT, or we can simply write it as what? AT is equal to molar concentration of A naught into E raised to minus KT. Over here I have just taken molar concentration of A naught on the right hand side. So this is one way of writing the rate law. Second form of writing the rate law, for that we have to consider the initial concentration of A as small a. So we have written it as what? Let A mole dm raised to minus 3 be the initial concentration of A at time t is equal to 0. Okay, therefore if I say let x mole per dm cube or mole dm raised to minus 3 be the concentration of A that decreases during time t. So therefore the final concentration which will be unreacted, that means the reactant which will be unreacted will be A minus A mole per dm cube. Okay, so hopefully you understood the initial concentration of A is equal to small a mole per liter, or you can write it as mole per dm cube. How much is getting reacted? X mole dm cube, x mole per dm cube is getting reacted. So the final concentration will be the total. What was the total? It was A minus how much is getting reacted. So it is A minus X will be the amount which is getting unreacted. Okay, so we are going to now substitute the initial concentration and the final concentration in the final equation. Okay, so hopefully you know what was the final equation. That was K is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 of initial concentration upon the final concentration. So I am going to substitute initial concentration as small a and the final concentration as what? A minus X. Therefore I got the final equation as K is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 A upon A minus X. So this is another form of writing the rate law. Now we are going to see all the equations of the integrated rate laws of first order reaction. So the first equation is very important, which you have to by heart, and it is normally used while solving sums. That is, K is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 molar concentration of A naught upon molar concentration of AT. Second, K is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 A upon A minus X, where the initial concentration was taken as A. Therefore, the final reactant which was left unreacted was A minus X. And the last one, molar concentration of A T upon molar concentration of A naught is equal to E raised to minus KT, or after rearranging we can write it as molar concentration of AT is equal to molar concentration of A naught into E raised to minus KT. So these equations represent the integrated rate laws of first order reaction. And one more thing, very important, whenever you write down this equation, it is very important for you to write down log to the base 10. If you are simply writing the equation as log molar concentration of A naught upon molar concentration of AT, you won't be getting marks. So please mention log to the base 10. Now we'll see the units of rate constant. So what is rate constant? That is represented by K. Okay, so the integrated rate law is given as what? K is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 molar concentration of A upon A naught upon molar concentration of AT. Okay, so we are seeing the unit for the first order reaction. Over here, please understand that when you say log initial concentration upon final concentration, so if I substitute the unit of both the things, mole per dm cube upon mole per dm cube, that will get cancelled. So therefore, what is just remaining over there is T. So the unit of K is equal to T inverse. Okay, so the different units of K will be S inverse, minute inverse, or R inverse. Okay, so hopefully you understood this thing, how to find out the unit for rate constant of first order reaction. Next we'll understand about the half-life of the first order reaction, which is given as T half. Okay, this is also very important topic. So we'll start with saying that the half-life of a reaction is the time required for the reactant concentration to fall to 1/2 of its initial value. That means exactly half. Okay, like for example, if I have taken 100 mole dm cube, if what is the exact half of that concentration, it will be 50 mole dm cube will be if that is a concentration, the time at that time when the reactant concentration becomes half is said to be T half. Okay, so radioactive process follow first order kinetics. Many of the radioactive processes follow first order reaction. Okay, so hopefully you understood this thing. It is very simple. So now we'll start with the derivation for the half-life of first order reaction, and as well as what half-life and rate constant of the first order reaction. So to begin with the derivation, we have to start with the integrated rate law for the first order reaction, which is given by K is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 molar concentration of A naught upon molar concentration of AT. So you know that what is small t? It is nothing but time. K is the rate constant. Molar concentration of A naught is the initial concentration of the reactant, and molar concentration of AT is the final concentration of the reactant. Okay, so as it is written over there, where A naught is the initial concentration of the reactant at T is equal to 0. When it falls to AT at time T after the start of the reaction, the time required for A naught, that is the initial concentration, to become half, that is A naught upon 2, is denoted by T T half. Therefore, we just have to make some changes in the equation. What is that changes? Initial concentration will be same. The final concentration will become as what? AT will be equal to A naught upon 2. Therefore, T will be equal to T half. So, putting this condition in the integrated rate law, we can write K is equal to 2.303. Instead of T, we write it as T half log to the base 10 initial concentration upon the final concentration. So, initial concentration will be the same, A naught upon the final concentration will be the half concentration, that is A naught upon 2. So, therefore, I will get it as K is equal to 2.303 upon T half log to the base 10 2. A naught and A naught will get cancelled and 2 will go up. So, therefore, we have to now find the value of log 2. What is log 2? It is 0.3010. So, if I multiply 2.303 into 0.3010, I will get the value as 0.693. So, the final equation will be K is equal to 0.693 upon T half, or I can write it as T half is equal to 0.693 upon K. So, you have to by heart this equation, that is 0.693 upon K, that is T half is equal to 0.693 upon K. So, this equation shows that the half-life of a first order reaction is independent of initial reactant concentration. So, you have to by heart this equation, that is T half is equal to 0.693 upon K. This is specifically for the first order reaction. So, if we plot a graph of concentration of AT, molar concentration of AT versus T, we will get such kind of graph where we can find out the half-life of first order reaction. Okay, so now we'll just end up. Next time we are going to continue with graphical representation of the first order reaction, and please do write and practice the derivation. Okay, then bye.